just going to I'm going to talk a little bit about me, a little bit about our program. What I thought I would do is just kind of keep it quick and do about a 5-minute thing, and then leave lots of time for questions after, because I can see you're all just dying to ask me some very hardcore fitness content related questions. But my story goes back to when I was a teenager and I first got into fitness as a very scrawny kid, if you can picture that, and I got into working out to overcome a confidence problem. And I was really successful at building up my body and actually got into doing strength competitions. So that's where the 4-time Ontario Strongest Man thing comes from. I used to pull buses and lift cars and stones and that kind of thing. More recently, I've done it as well. And well, the interesting thing about it was that as part of that process of building myself up, I went kind of like too far to the other end of the pendulum, and I added a lot. I added over 100 pounds to my 5'6" frame. So as you can imagine, I was about as wide as I am tall. And I ended up, when I retired from the sport, I was basically overweight. I had a lot of fat on my body. I started getting sick. I had sleep apnea, had no energy anymore, and I was embarrassed by the way I looked, to be quite frank. So I kind of went through this period where, even though I had worked as a personal trainer my entire adult life, 15 years or so, I still actually struggled with how to make those changes happen for myself and how to lose the weight. And eventually I figured out some pretty cool stuff, some important stuff that changed my life. And when I felt that difference, in terms of confidence, how I feel, how I look, I was just became so passionate and so committed about making that transformation happen for everybody else around me that needs my help. And I created, that's when I went into business for myself. I created a program around the things that I did that made me successful with my weight loss. And we've been at it a little over 2 years now, and we've helped almost 400 people right here in Toronto drastically and permanently transform their bodies. So really happy about that, excited about that, and just really passionate about what we do. Now what's different about us compared to other fitness programs out there is that we sort of have a standard 16-week program that we put people through. And we are very holistic because we look after both your workouts, your resistance training, your cardio, and the nutrition aspect, which most personal trainers won't do. They'll give you advice on nutrition, but they won't give you a comprehensive, customized plan the way that we do it. And the reason that we're so successful with our programs is because we do look after all that stuff. And you come into my office, you come into one of our programs, and there's zero guesswork left over for you. We tell you step by step, top to bottom, everything you're supposed to do. You just have to show up and do it, basically. Right? What did Woody Allen say? 80% of success is just showing up. That's what you have to do with our program to be successful, basically. And that's the reason that we've been able to have so much success with the people that we train is because we've thought of everything. We made it kind of idiot-proof. So, and then we went from there and we started creating these boot camps, but that's just been in the last year or so, that have also kind of really taken off. And we just sort of took some of the steps that we do in our personal training programs and we put that right into our boot camps. And we've seen phenomenal results there too. Boot camps are great, by the way, for anyone looking for that kind of a physical change. They burn lots of calories, and there's lots of research that's coming out now saying that type of cross-training, where you're challenging your muscles, but you're getting a lot of cardio at the same time, is very, very effective for losing weight. And we've seen a lot of results with the boot camps that we do as well. Just a couple of quick stories about some clients that we train. It's a funny thing. A lot of people tell us that we're like a trainer and a shrink combined. We're like cheaper than seeing a shrink. I mean, people tell their trainer things that they would never tell anybody else. And I swear to God, over the years, I had people tell me some things that I just I really didn't need to hear that. This one lady I remember was such detailed, sexual details about her life that it's like, it's like if you would have seen your grandmother coming out of the shower. It's one of those things you can't block it out of your mind ever again. You know what I mean? And once it's out there, there's nothing you can do about it. It's stuck in your head.
I think she's coming on to you.
That was probably the scenario, actually. So I've heard all kinds of crazy things from people. There was a gentleman recently that came into us, and one of the best things about what we do is the value that we provide for people is not just that physical transformation that happens, it's the change in the personality. Because I see people come out of their shell all the time, develop a lot more confidence in themselves, a lot more energy, and I've had clients that as I've trained them, they've got promotions at work, they've met their significant other, gotten married, and it's all been as a result of starting to do this process of taking good care of themselves, having more energy and confidence in themselves. So anyway, a great referral for us would be obviously anyone that's looking to make that kind of transformation. Usually they've gone through about 10 other programs before they get to us. So if you know somebody that's doing that process, they're going to this diet center, or they're trying this program, and they're not having a lot of success, or they're up and down with their weight, that is an ideal client for us, because we get people in that state and we transform them forever after that. And then also what I'm really looking to do now is just get out there and do a lot more presentations, public speaking, because that's what I'm passionate about. I love to teach. That's my passion. That's what I'm good at. You know, there's a lot of fitness experts out there. There's very few pure teachers that can teach it the way that I can. And great referral, for example, I'm going to do a speech at the Rotary for your friend. So
when?
From Liz, end of November.
I'll be there.
So Rotary clubs are great. Any corporations that you know, anybody that has a team, I can go in and talk to their team and do some stuff on nutrition, on workouts that will sort of jazz up the whole energy of the place, and get a lot of interactive and participation going as well. So that's a great referral for us. Now, as far as any content, I wanted to give you a little bit of content stuff. People like to know what I do in my presentations. And I don't know how you guys are, but I'm a big time visual learner. Like, I really need to see things visually to kind of get it. Are you guys like that a little bit too? So I do like a lot of visual stuff in my presentation. So one of the segments that I do frequently in my presentations is stuff about label reading, because label reading is pretty important. And I like to talk about Pam, for example, right? Because you've all seen the commercials where Pam is low-calorie cooking, correct? You've all seen that, right?
Sure.
So let's take a closer look at that. We have calories per serving 4. Ellen, you're going to help me out with this, right? Calories per serving?
4.
Okay, so 4 calories per serving. Grams of fat is 0.5, so it sounds pretty good at first glance. However, does anyone know what the main ingredient in Pam is? Does anyone know what that is?
Chemicals?
Chemicals
Something you
certainly
can't
in there.
pronounce.
That's going to be, no,
Canola oil.
it's basically it's canola oil.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh, okay.
So now let's have a look at this. The canola oil is 80 calories.
Indeed.
Correct? And 9 grams of fat. So my question is, if this is canola oil and this is canola oil, how come the Pam is so low in calories?
Chemicals. Yes.
No, it's what I call very clever marketing, right?
Serving size.
Because if you have a closer look, it's the serving size is 0.5 grams. 0.5 grams, which
spray?
it's 1/8 of a teaspoon, which represents about a half a second of spray. And good luck doing a stir fry with that. That's all I'll say about that.
Not to mention
Right? So
the
it's
aerosols.
really important to stay on top of stuff like that, because there's so much misinformation out there, and that's why I'm passionate about doing these talks, because there are little things that people don't know about. Even sugar-free on labels. Oftentimes they'll be able to get away with putting sugar-free on a label, where all they've done is they've listed specific sugars on the label. So they might not refer to sugar specifically, but they'll put glucose fructose, or they'll put brown rice syrup or something like that. So it doesn't specifically use that word, but they can call that sugar-free. You understand what I'm saying? So labels are there to deceive you, and I'm here to fight that. Yeah, the thing about the great thing, I'll just leave with this thought. The great thing about boot camp is we always have people that by the end of the 4 weeks they're doing stuff that they were like, man, I never thought I could do that. You know what I mean? And that's within 4 weeks, and it happens very, very, very quickly.
3 times
3
a week, you
days
just
a week.
said.
Because when you're in a group of people like that, you just get inspired, or whether it's a competitive thing, you get sucked up to that level very quickly. So we see people go and make huge changes in their fitness levels in just 4 weeks, and they start doing things that they're amazed by. Yeah.
Great.
Connor, thank you so much.
Thank you.